1, 2, 3, execute. 1, 2, 3, execute. This right here, this cycle, is what every computer on Earth is doing right now. It is called the fetch execute cycle, and this is what we're going to look at in this video. I'm going to show you exactly how the RTM-16 CPU does the fetch execute cycle, wire by wire, clock pulse by clock pulse. If this is the type of video you enjoy, then don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the little bell notification. It really helps to drive the channel. Now we know a program is made up of individual instructions. So when we seen the assembly language program in a previous video, we had individual instructions. For example, add R0, R1. So we have to go and get those instructions from memory. That is, we have to go and fetch those instructions. Now once we've fetched the instruction, we have to place the instruction into the instruction register. Now the instruction register sits at the very bottom here of our control unit. So we go and get the instruction and we place it here into the control unit so that we can actually run the instruction. Now, what do we mean by run the instruction? Well, run the instruction is called execute. So we have to execute the instruction. But what is the instruction made up of? Well, the instruction is made up of individual lines of microcode. So for example, the add instruction we seen had 4 or 5 different lines of microcode, and the microcode is in the microcoded ROM. So we have to go into the microcoded ROM and we have to pull out the individual micro instructions. Those individual micro instructions are going to change all of the sets and all of the enables in the control unit. So all of the sets and enables here get changed depending on the values which are within the microcoded ROM. But the values in the microcoded ROM are just the individual lines that we need in order to run our instruction. So for example, the add R0, R1. And we get the instruction into the instruction register, and we get the instruction from the fetch cycle. So we have a fetch, execute. Fetch goes and gets the instruction from memory, and then the execute executes all of the micro instructions which make up the full instruction. So let's step through the fetch execute cycle one clock pulse at a time. So we can go back up to the top level and you'll see here the program is still running, and it's running very slowly because I've wanted to slow it down so you could see all of the clock pulses. Now if you notice here, I will zoom in and you'll see here we've got this thing here set that says F step. So that stands for fetch step, and we know the fetch step has got 3 possible values, 1, 2 and 3. Now the next one down is E step, and that stands for execute step. Now the execute step in this CPU could have anything up to 256 values. So that is, we can generate a very complicated instruction which is made up of 256 individual micro instructions if we want. Now most of our instructions will probably be made up of between 5 and no more than 15 micro instructions. But we do have the option to expand on that and generate really complicated instructions if we want to. So you can see here it's actually counting through. we're going to have here F step, so this is the fetch step, and you'll see it going to 1, 2 and 3 when it's going through the fetch cycle, and then you'll see it counting through here when it's going through the execute cycle. So let's slow down the CPU even further. In fact, what we can do is we can just stop the CPU, and now we can click through individual clock pulses using this CLK. So again, I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see it a bit better. Now you'll note here that we're not on the fetch step, but we can get onto the fetch step by pulsing the clock. Now you can see that the execute step is counting up. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can see it's gone back to 0 again, and we're now in fetch step 1. So we know that if we drop into the machine, we are going to be on the first fetch cycle. So if we drop down in here, you can see here that we're on fetch value 1. Now what we want to do is we want to follow these lines, and we want to see exactly what they do. Now you'll notice here that none of these lines here go down to the microcoded ROM. You can see the microcoded ROM, they're all dark, meaning zeros. So the fetch here is a hardwired fetch, and it has got no connectivity at all to the microcoded ROM. They're separate. We have a fetch cycle, and it's separate from the execute cycle. So now what we want to do is talk through each of these connections, and we'll see how each of the connections for the enable and the sets generate the fetch cycle. Now this is where things can get a little bit complicated, but let's take our time and work our way through. We're on stage 1 of the fetch, and we're interested first of all on the left hand side of the screen, because the left hand side's got all of the enables. So we're going to start off by enabling information onto the bus. So the first one comes down and it goes into this bus 1. We'll talk about this one in just a moment. It also comes down here to the instruction address register, so you see IAR. Now the instruction address register contains not the address of the instruction you're running now, it actually contains the address of the next instruction. So what we've done is we've prefetched the address of the next instruction, and we have it sitting handy and ready for us within the instruction address register. Now we do that by using this bus 1. So bus 1, what it does is it takes the address of the instruction which we're just about to run, and we know we're going to prefetch the address of the next instruction. So what it does is it actually adds 1 on to the value that's already in here. So if we were to head up to the top level, and we'll head into the CPU, you can see here we've got the bus 1. So what we're going to have here at the moment is the address of the instruction which we're just about to run, and then we're going to add 1 on to it. So when we add 1 on to it, what we're going to get out here at the bottom in the accumulator is going to be the address of the next instruction. That's the one we're going to run after this one. So this is the prefetch cycle that we use within this machine. So a bit complicated, but take your time and have a little think about it. So now we've got the address of the instruction which we want to run, but we've still got to go and fetch that instruction out of memory. So what we do is we take that address and we set it in the memory address register. So the memory address register now is going to point to that particular address in memory. And also we're going to set the value in the accumulator. So the value we set in the accumulator is going to be the original instruction address register plus the 1. Okay, so we're pointing to the instruction after this one. So I've clicked the clock in order to take us to the next part of the fetch cycle. So if we head down in, you'll see we're at the second part of the fetch cycle. Now we've gone to the RAM and we've pointed to the location of the instruction which we want to fetch. Now we have to take that instruction and place it onto the bus. So we do this by setting the control enabled high. So this takes the information from the RAM and it puts it onto the bus. Now once it's on the bus, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to set it into the instruction register, because that's the instruction we actually want to run. So it means we're going to have to go ahead and we're going to have to do one more clock pulse so that the value is now set into the instruction register. So we go into the instruction register and we should see that it contains the actual next instruction. So the next instruction here is 0403, which is in the instruction register. So we're almost finished. We can go on to the next stage here, which is stage number 3. So this is stage number 3 here. We drop down into the CPU, into the control unit, and you can see here we've got a couple of things we're going to have to do. We're going to have to put the address of the next instruction, which is in the accumulator, onto the bus. So we put this onto the bus and then we set it into the instruction address register. So the instruction address register contains the address of the next instruction. Now after we've finished with the fetch, we can then go on to the execute cycle. So we can click through again until the execute cycle goes to 1. So now we're on the execute phase. So the execute phase now gets taken over by the micro-coded ROM. So the micro-coded ROM now is going to be pointing to the first micro instruction of this particular instruction. And then we're going to have to start counting through. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4. In this case it goes all the way to 5. So we're going to count these micro instructions in order to run the full instruction. So let's clock through some of these micro instructions. So you can see here we're going to have to clock 1, 2, 3, 4, and it goes on to the second micro instruction. So we drop down in here and you can see here that if we head into the micro-coded ROM, we're now in the second micro instruction. The second micro instruction just sets all these enable and set lines high or low. And we continue through and we can work through all of the micro instructions. Now you'll notice we got to pulse the clock 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll cover why we need to do that whenever we look at the clock video. But you can see that the execute step is counting up. Now I'll either go to 5 or it might go to 6. Okay, so the execute went to 5 and it's now gone back to 0, and now we've started again with the fetch cycle. I'm now running the machine on full speed and you can see a little image being drawn on the screen. You can get access to the machine from my Patreon account and you can run all of the simulations for yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. And next week's video is going to be on the clock and how we clock information round about the CPU. Goodbye.